Hello, my name is Chris and I'm a U-Haul hitch professional. If you're planning on towing a trailer with your Hyundai Santa Fe, then you're going to need trailer wiring. It is required by the law. Now let's take a look at how we complete this install. You will need the following tools and supplies to complete this installation. Begin this installation in the cargo area by lifting up on the flooring and removing the rear cargo tray. There will be 3 screws holding it in place. Use a flathead screwdriver to pop the cover, exposing the screw. You can use a Phillips head bit or a 10mm socket. You can now remove the rear cargo box. Gently pull up to release the clips along the front edge. In order to access the trim and the wire harnesses that are back here, we're going to go ahead and pull up on our rear scuff panel. You might find some of the clips stay in the body. Go ahead and use your trim panel tool to pop them out and reinsert them back in the scuff panel. We can now release 2 Phillips head screws, one underneath the scuff panel, the second one here at the floor behind the 3rd row seat. We can now gently pull the trim away from the side of the vehicle. There will be several clips. You can use your hands. Be careful, it might be sharp with some plastic edges under there. We'll continue to pop all the way around, giving us access to a hidden 10mm fastener. I'm gonna go ahead and use some masking tape to cover up some of the clips on the inside of the plastic. This way they don't leave any scratches on our other trim pieces. We also found a second 10mm bolt hidden behind the back of the lower trim panel. Now gently pry away the upper trim piece. We traced the tail light wires from the tailgate through the vehicle to in here, so we're going to go ahead and expose and find our signals. There will be 2 blue wires with orange stripes that will be your left turn stop and right turn stop. You will need to test them individually to figure out left and right. Your running lights will be a brown wire with a black stripe. Again, test this to confirm. Do note any wires that are twisted together are likely a part of a sensor package, and we do not want to test these as we may cause damage. Before I connect any wires, I want to make sure to hide the converter box in a convenient out-of-the-way location so that my signal wires can make to where we're going to tap in. As well, we can get the 4-flat connector out and on a bracket under the bumper for the customer. We can now install our tap-ins. We're going to start with our brown wire, our running lights. Insert it into the dead end, and then pass the wire of the vehicle into the open end. In this case, we previously marked our brown wire with a black stripe. Use a tool like a wrench or pair of pliers to squeeze the tap in through the wires. We can now install the yellow wire onto the left turn signal previously identified. We're now ready to install the green wire. Let's go ahead and trim off some of this excess and install the tap-in onto the identified right turn signal. We are now ready to affix the red wire, the stop signal, to the white ground wire. You can use the tap-in, you can use a butt connector. We're going to go ahead and replace the ring terminal with a heat shrink butt connector. Use a heat source to melt the heat shrink on the ring terminal. You can now mount the red and white wire to a bare metal surface using this provided self-tapping screw. We are now ready to connect the power wire for our converter box. You will notice the vehicle has the 12-volt lithium battery here in the trunk. This unused tow harness has 2 12-volt power wires, pink wire, and directly opposite, a white wire. You can test and confirm that there is positive 12-volt power, and you can use either one of these to get power for your converter box, because this harness is not already being used. If it was being used, we would not want to do this. Because we plan to clip through a power wire, it is in our best interest to remove the battery and electricity from the vehicle. So let's go ahead and depress this tab, open the cam lock, and disconnect the 12-volt battery. Go ahead and expose your wires, giving you access. Now prepare your other end and connect the black length of power wire to it. We will now route our power wire to make the connection and then trim off any excess. You can now again use your heat source to melt any of the shrink. With all our connections made, we can now reinstall the 12-volt battery. We can now insert our fuse, and let's now test for proper functionality on our 4-flat connector. So as you can see, we have headlights, left turn, right turn, and stop. For those of you who would prefer to mount your 4-flat connector on a bracket, we can use this grommet next to the lithium-ion battery to pass the connection under the bumper. Make a slit in your rubber grommet. Rubber silicone can be used to seal up fully the grommet after we install it. Use one of the provided zip ties to secure all your loose wiring. Now use some electrical tape to secure our wire harness. You can now reassemble the vehicle's cargo area trim, beginning first with this upper piece and its hidden 10mm fastener. We're now ready to mount our connector to a bracket. If you do not have one of these, you can pick one up at your nearest local U-Haul Hitch Center, or you can order one from the link in the description below. Use the bracket as a template to drill out 2 holes using a 3/16 drill bit. Always make sure there is no electrical wiring or anything behind where you're drilling. The bracket will come with provided hardware, but we're going to use a rivet for longer lasting securement. Now put the dust cover on the connector before passing it through the bracket. Wiggle it into place until it seats and cover with the dust cover. That concludes trailer wiring for your Hyundai Santa Fe. Please remember to practice safe trailering, and we can't wait to see you out there. If you have any questions about the products seen in this video, or if you'd like to schedule an installation with your local U-Haul Hitch professional, please visit us online at uhaulhitches.com. You can also download the U-Haul app using the link in the description for even more ways to manage your hitch and towing needs.